Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife, Carol. How are you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
How much it's been a good week here. It is September 10th, 1999. Is there something interesting about our board over there?
No.
Because you are just staring intently at it.
I was just zoning out, I guess. Sorry.
We use a sound mixing board for anybody that is in the know. The same kind you can find in garage bands all over the world.
It's what makes our voices sound so amazing.
Yeah, exactly. That and the microphones that we use.
Which, again, are from...
Rode.
Thanks, a Rode.
Shout out to Rode.
Whoop, whoop.
We love you. You know what else we love? The Emmys, Carol. Do you love the Emmys?
Yeah.
You know the Oscars. They call the Oscars because of I don't know, one looked like Yul Brynner or something.
Sure, I have no idea, but go ahead.
But it's really the Academy Awards, like the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences Awards. That's the actual name for the statue. It's the Academy Awards. They just nickname it Oscar, right?
Sure.
What do the Emmys stand for?
Oh, maybe there was somebody named Emmy.
The Emilios.
The Amelias.
Ooh, Amelias.
I mean, come on, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, Emmy is female.
It can be, yeah. I mean, I would honestly feel like Emmy is more female than male.
Yeah. The female version of the Oscar, the Emmy, kind of. Anyway, so do we go new and bold or safe and old is the question here. HBO's The Sopranos and Sex and the City are brilliant, sophisticated, and very funny.
Sure.
But is that enough for them to capture the coveted Emmy?
Yes.
Okay.
But only one, so.
Only one Emmy? Between the two of them, they have to fight it out?
Yeah.
Tony Soprano and Carrie Bradshaw have to fight it out.
That would be interesting.
James Gandolfini.
I mean, he could break her like a twig, so.
Yeah, well, she does look like a twig. Speaking of twigs, Callista Flockhart is also in the running.
Oh, no.
And maybe she'll be on team Carrie Bradshaw.
Maybe.
I always think of Terry Bradshaw when they say her name.
He was in football?
Yeah, that's great. Good job. He was a quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 1970s.
Hey, look at me. I know stuff.
So this is according to Captain Videophile or Mike Duffy or whatever the fuck he wants you to call him. But he thinks that Sarah Jessica Parker will not win the Emmy because it's too raunchy and with its verbal repartee.
Well, that's kind of shitty. I mean, it's not her fault that the show's raunchy. If she's doing a good job, she deserves the award.
But he thinks that... Well, I'm sorry. I did say Sarah Jessica Parker. I meant her show, Sex and the City. Or Sex and the City, I guess. But he says, Frasier. Is Frasier going to win an unprecedented, mind-boggling 6th straight statuette? Wow.
That would be a little crazy. It's a good show, but...
Yeah. So, drama series, so the nominees, ER, Law and Order, NYPD Blue, The Practice, and The Sopranos. So he thinks will win The Practice from producer David E. Kelly because it's the best year of any drama series, not named The Sopranos. He thinks The Sopranos should win, though. It's the most audaciously original drama series since Twin Peaks. What do you think? We haven't seen The Practice, but we've seen The Sopranos.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen The Practice, so I can't weigh in, but The Sopranos is good.
Do you think The Sopranos is better than ER, Law and Order, or NYPD Blue, shows we have seen?
Yes. Do you?
Yeah, I do too.
Okay.
Lead actor in a drama series. Dennis Franz, James Gandolfini, Dylan McDermott from The Practice, Jimmy Smits.
Isn't The Sopranos also raunchy?
I mean, it can be.
I mean, I feel like it's because Sex and the City is women that they're like, oh,
it's women being raunchy, so it's no good.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see that. What do you think, though? Do you think, like, what's your take on any of these categories here?
don't know.
Lead actress. What about Jenna Elfman from Dharma and Greg?
See, I mean, like, I've literally seen, like, one episode of it, so...
Callista Flockhart from Ally McBeal.
Seen one episode of that.
Patty Heaton. Everybody Loves Raymond.
I mean, I like that show.
Helen Hunt, Mad About You.
I like that show a lot.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
I think Mad About You should get it because they just ended.
No, they think Jenna Elfman's going to get it.
Whatever.
But Callista Flockhart should... Or no. Callista Flockhart should win. Jenna Elfman... Wait.
What?
No. Switch...
What
Strike
is
that.
happening?
Strike that. Reverse it. Anyone get that reference? That's so will win. Callista Flockhart should win. Jenna Elfman.
Okay.
That's what he thinks. You interested in this at all?
I'm sorry. I'm not that into celebrities. I don't have a lot to contribute. I apologize. I love ya.
I love you too. Are you talking to me or the listeners
You.
who were disappointing right now?
Well,
Okay, here's a peek behind the curtain, everybody. I like award show things. I'm the rare guy that likes award show stuff, and she does not. So
boring as hell.
I try to talk about it, and that's what I get. I get, I don't know, maybe.
I'm sorry. I gave you a couple opinions.
Yeah, you're being paid for your big, bold opinions.
I'm not getting paid for shit. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Rude. You're rude.
I don't get paid.
What about...
This is a labor of love.
Oh, that's true. I keep all the money. Britney Spears fans just love her. That's the headline.
Okay.
Is that surprising to you? That her fans love her?
Well, no, that's kind of the whole point of being a fan, right?
Somebody's listening to her. Britney Spears, who performs in a sold-out show at Detroit's State Theater on Sunday night, has sold 6 million copies of her debut album.
Damn. ...
ellipses. Baby, one more time. Spears, whose music is often heard on such contemporary hits radio station as WDRQ-FM, that 93.1, that's a local reference, everyone, has had 3 #1 requested videos on MTV this summer. But I ask around, and it's difficult to get anybody to admit to loving her. The 17-year-old Spears, whose music has been geared to preteen girls, has been critically panned for her unremarkable vocals
Interesting.
and bland styling.
What the hell?
The Free Press gave her album a 1-star review.
Wow.
She's also drawn flack for what some critics call her inappropriate grown-up posturing, including a provocative appearance on the cover of the April 15th issue of Rolling Stone magazine. Spears' music is geared to preteens, but she is also attracting late teens and young adults. They like her a lot.
Yeah.
What do you think? She's doing a signing at Hudson's, by the way, an autograph signing. So
I think a lot of people like her and don't want to admit it because they know that her music is for little girls.
yeah, I mean, exactly. But that's, it wasn't so long ago, if you think about it. That's how Madonna started out, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, True Blue and all that shit,
Or like, I don't know, Material Girl.
True Love.
I'm trying to think
You're
about
the
songs
one I'm thinking of.
that she did that weren't, sexual.
Yeah, well, she slowly geared into that. Although the difference is she wasn't 17 when she started, though. She was like 24 or something like that. She was young, but...
I feel like Christy Lauper maybe is a better
Oh, Christy Lauper, okay.
comparison.
That's interesting.
Is that... Maybe that's not who I mean.
What universe do you live in?
Is there no Christy Lauper?
No, there is not.
Who do I mean? You know.
Christy Brinkley?
No.
Cindy Lauper?
Cindy Lauper, that's it. There we go.
Christy Lauper.
Cindy Lauper.
What about Cindy Lauper?
I'm saying, like, her music, I think, would be more comparable to Britney Spears than Madonna.
Well, Britney Spears Cindy Lauper had a much better voice.
Okay. But
Why? Because she sings about the Goonies or whatever? Like, what the fuck?
her music's more wholesome.
Cindy Lauper's?
Yes.
You think Britney Spears' music is wholesome? I mean,
Well,
I guess
it's
kind of.
more wholesome than Madonna.
Yeah, but we're talking about the beginnings of their career. I think the beginnings of Madonna... Listen, I'm a Madonna historian.
What the fuck? So am I.
And if we're talking about the beginnings of her career, she was pretty clean in the beginning.
Okay.
Don't you think?
Yeah, sure. Sorry. I was wrong. I apologize. Backing it up.
Dude. What the fuck?
Same to you, sir.
You feel like... It feels like... In the whoa! Oh, it happened to you!
My microphone fell. Luckily, I just happened to be touching it when it fell.
Well, you kind of yanked it, too, though.
No, I didn't.
You do have a problem. You do have a tendency to kind of pull a little, too.
Jeez.
Here, I'll fix it for you. Don't worry. This is the extra stuff that you guys pay for here. Let me see. Is this going to do it? I don't think so, no. Okay, wait a second. Because I'm not... Fuck. You know what? I'm going to have to unplug you. One second.
Is it, like, really, really broken?
It's not really, really broken, no. They can't hear you now. Come closer. Pretend like you like me. Get into my microphone, for real.
Ew.
There you go.
Cooties.
Oh my God, you kind of ruined a perfect transition.
Sorry.
Actually, this adds to it. But
I didn't do it.
well, you did.
But it did it. I didn't do it.
It did it.
The microphone did it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's all the microphone's fault.
All right. Cover your ears, everyone. All right. There we go. You're back in.
Hello, hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Readjust your mic to your own comfort. God, this entire episode feels like it's been a huge trial for you. Like a lot of pain and suffering. Much like the movie we watched this week was for Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3's Patricia Arquette.
Yeah.
The movie is Stigmata.
Yeah, Patricia Arquette.
Were you aware of Stigmata before this movie?
I was, but don't ask me why, because I've been racking my brain, because you actually brought this up prior to recording.
Yeah.
And no, I can't remember why.
Okay.
But
Thanks
yes.
for letting me know that I brought something up prior to recording. I would have forgotten.
Well, I wanted to explain why I was even thinking about it. But no, like, I know I knew about it. I think it's just, because I went to church a lot and stuff. Like, people talk about stuff.
Yeah, I get people do talk about stuff in church. You're right about that. So Stigmata, what did you think of this movie?
I loved this movie.
Yeah?
I thought it was super, like, creepy and done different than you would anticipate a movie about a religious affliction to be. How about you?
It's kind of like it's sort of like what it reminded me of the most, honestly, is a movie called Jacob's Ladder. Did you ever see that movie?
No.
It's with what's his name? Tim Robbins is in it. You know Tim Robbins.
No.
The Shawshank Redemption. He was in that recently.
Who did he
By
play?
recently, I mean 5 years ago. He played the main dude.
Oh, okay. Then yes, I know who that is.
So not the one that's
Not Morgan Freeman.
not Morgan Freeman, the other one.
The white one.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly.
What?
I see. Only looking at the race. Look at it. There were a lot of white people in that movie, They don't
But
all,
there
they
were
all, they,
two-
they all look alike, I guess, right?
There were two main dudes, and
Carol's
one
black.
of them was black, and one of them was white.
Carol's black, for those of you that don't know.
What? What?
No, she's not. Anyway, so I was accusing her of racism against whites. So for that fantasy, it made it more palatable if she's black, I guess.
You're so weird.
Anyway, it reminded me a lot of that movie because it's sort of like a mystery, like what the fuck is going on kind of thing,
Okay.
where we don't really know, and it's very psychological, and there are dreams and imagery and stuff like that, and that's a lot of what that was. But it also kind of reminded me of The Exorcist in a way too, sort of, because it's kind of like an exorcism movie, except what's in her is an old priest, and not in the way that an old priest is usually.
Oh
in
God,
someone.
come on. It's a weird, like, That's the weird thing about this movie. Priests are supposed to be good, and this priest was bad. I mean, he was good. I mean, but he was all like it would have been one thing if all he did was possess her to share this message he wanted to share.
Sure.
But he did all kinds of twisted shit.
I mean, not really, kind of.
He came on to not Professor
Gabriel Byrne.
Yeah, what's his name? Father
Andrew
Kiernan.
Yeah,
he came on to him in her body. Yeah. He beat him up.
Yeah.
He levitated her and he afflicted her.
We should say he hit on him, not came on him.
No. And I mean, like, he afflicted her with stigmata, unless we're supposed to believe that the stigmata was because he was
Yeah, the stigmata followed him. He wasn't doing it.
He was experiencing stigmata before he died.
Yes. They said that, yeah.
So then it started happening to her.
He had gloves on in the picture, and he's like, why did he have gloves on? Oh, to hide his stigmata. So yeah, he brought the stigmata with him. That's why, because they keep saying, like, oh, only the most faithful or whatever gets stigmata, because, it's a gift or whatever. And so, yeah, he's experiencing that. And I guess the reason he's able to experience more of it is because he's dead and she has a young, healthy body.
I guess. I mean,
Patricia Arquette certainly has a young, healthy body. Yeah.
If, the stigmata, for those of you who don't know.
Oh, yeah, I guess we should explain.
is somebody being afflicted with the 5 wounds that were afflicted on Christ when he was being crucified. So the holes through the hands because of the nails.
Or the wrists.
Actually, it's the wrists, yeah. The holes through the feet.
Right.
And
also because of the nails.
The whipping on the back. Yeah. Lash marks on the back. Crown of thorns, so there's marks on the head.
Right.
And then the final one, which apparently no one has ever actually experienced, would be a spear in the side.
Exactly. Like, yes, the real phenomenon of stigmata. No one's ever actually experienced the spear in the side.
What are you laughing because you're like, oh, it's not real? Like, people have experienced stigmata. He's laughing at me. It's okay. We're gonna have to go to the library after this because it's a real thing.
Okay, I'm not saying that people haven't had holes in their hands or their fucking like wrists and been like, oh look, I have stigmata. I'm not saying that's never happened.
Wow.
I'm saying it's not divine.
Wow.
Fucking. I don't believe in it.
Heresy.
I don't believe in stigmata. It's like possession. Like, there are people that are religious that don't believe in possession.
Uh-huh.
And there are people that do believe in possession.
So, speaking of possession, this
all has to do with the fucking mysticism of the Catholic Church. And by the way, my one complaint about this movie, I guess, is, or, in movies in general, how come the Catholics are always the bad guys in religion? Like, when there's religious bad guys, how come it's always the Catholics?
Why might that be?
You never see a movie where it's like, oh my god, a fucking Methodist priest has run amok.
Well,
Watch out, it's the Baptists.
That's not true.
Oh no, the Seventh-day Adventists.
Sometimes the Mormons are the bad guys.
Well, you're talking about the Mormon murders or whatever?
Sure.
It's a book. By the way, Mormons, we're not saying you actually killed anyone in real life. Don't come after us.
What about Satanists? I bet they're the bad guys sometimes.
I don't see them very often being Satan.
But
in movies, what's a movie where the Mormons have been the bad guys?
I can't think of one, but I'm saying I bet there has been.
Okay.
Because, they have some questionable things.
Sure.
Just like the Catholic Church has some questionable things.
Yeah. I think the Scientologists are the bad guys in every movie.
In every movie ever.
Considering how many of them are in Hollywood.
Right.
But yeah, that was my one complaint, is the Catholics are always the bad guys.
But I mean, they are sitting on a bunch of information that they're not sharing with people.
That is true. They have a lot of information in their vaults that they don't share with people.
So it's not like even a false accusation of badness. It's just stating a fact.
I will say that the Catholic Church does a lot of things that I think are pretty shitty.
I want to know at the very end of the
movie. And I was raised Catholic. I'm allowed to say that.
At the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
They had like the little like text stuff. And they said that there were some scrolls that were found in the 40s that are supposed to be like the actual like words of Jesus or something.
The gospel of Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I wonder if that's true or if they just made that up for the movie. That's the whole thing. I mean, the movie is fiction, right? So, like, maybe that's fiction too, but maybe it's not.
The movie's actually a documentary.
Oh, stop it.
Patricia Arquette really got Stigmata.
Stop it. You're so mean. Makes fun of me all the time.
Well, you believe in Stigmata.
It didn't even occur to me that you didn't. Like, it did not... Like, I realized this movie is fiction, but it didn't occur to me going into this conversation that you didn't accept that stigmata is a thing that happens to people.
My God. Honestly, you're right, though. It's like 1 in 5. I mean, we've all known someone that's been suffered from stigmata. Just not the spear. No one gets the spear. That's God's. That's actually on there's an asterisk in the Ten Commandments, and on the very bottom of the tablet, it's the asterisk. Nobody gets the spear. They're like, how did they know? That was even before Christ. That's God.
Oh my goodness.
They didn't realize what it meant when Moses didn't know what it meant. Moses was like, what is this? What does this mean? And God's like, spoilers. Not going to tell you.
Oh my goodness. Honestly, the mysticism of the Catholic Church, like sometimes I wish I was Catholic just because of that, because I would be so about it.
That is our best feature. The mysticism of the church. They do have some wild fucking, I mean, cuz it's fucked up. They do have like this division like exists. I mean, I don't think it's called exactly this or whatever, but they have priests whose sole job is to go around the world and investigate potential miracles and see if they really are miracles that should be categorized, written down, whatever, documented for the Catholic Church, or to try to debunk them. They have priests that's their job. They also have priests, they don't talk about it, but they also have priests that go around to do exorcisms and shit like that. That still happens. Yeah. There is a lot of like, I wouldn't say occultism, because I guess that's kind of like heresy to use that word or whatever, but there is a lot of that type of occult, like religious occult type stuff in the Catholic Church.
So this Father Kiernan, his job was to go investigate these things.
Yeah. But a former scientist.
According to them, he was supposed to be like basically like shoving stuff under the rug, hiding it, like not.
That's what they wanted him to do. But he didn't think that was his job. He thought his job was just to investigate, but they were using him to like bury stuff. Like when he left the state, because at the very beginning he goes to Belo Quinto or something like that, someplace in Brazil. And he visits a church there where there's a statue that is crying blood.
It's been crying blood ever since the priest died.
The statue of Mary. Yeah, ever since the priest, Alameda, the priest died there. And it's been crying blood, and everyone's like praying, and they're all like, oh, yeah, something like that. And originally, I guess they told him, hey, bring the fucking statue over here so we can examine it or whatever. And he was going to do that. But then he didn't. He left it there. Because
they said the priest would never have approved of that. Mm-hmm. And he said it's like a cornerstone of their faith at this point. We have to leave it for the people.
Right. And he comes back and says that. So I think that's what they were doing. They were sending him out there. He wasn't, because he's not a bad guy. He wasn't thinking he was doing that. But they were sending him out there like, hey, get that statue, bring it back there, so they could just bury it.
But it was really cool. Like, I mean, I realize, again, fiction. But he took pictures of the statue, and it showed that the statue, they were like infrared, so it showed the statue was room temperature and the tears were warm.
Yeah.
And he got a sample and it was human blood. How does that work? I mean, like, if that was for real.
Well, in the guise of the movie, this is a real. See, that's one thing I thought was kind of weird too. I thought they were going to start him off with something he could easily debunk to kind of show that, like, oh, that's his job, is to like debunk stuff, and then he comes across the thing that he can't explain or whatever. But they kind of do it backwards.
Yeah, they show us the thing he can't explain, and then they briefly discuss the thing that he debunked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like an interstitial of like, something that he debunked.
Maybe they filmed it and it got cut.
I don't know, but it was, it was interesting. Because it's an interesting way to start, because I did kind of expect him to debunk this, and I was looking into it, like, the whole time they did this scene, and then obviously what happens is like some kid rips away the fucking rosary from this dead priest.
It's awful.
Who does this?
That's terrible. And then the priest apparently has attached his spirit to the rosary.
I guess, yeah. He goes to the market. The kid runs to the market, and he's like, hey, this is fucking priests. And the shopkeeper's like, oh, okay, cool.
No, the shopkeeper's like, give that back. That's stealing from the dead. But he offers it to Patricia Arquette's mom, other than the fact that she's a blonde lady in Brazil, so he's like, oh, she's on vacation, she's got money. Mm. Why would he'd be like, this is, priest's thing, like, she doesn't care.
Yeah, she never even heard of this priest.
Like, if you think that's going to get you more money, go talk to the congregation and they're praying.
Right,
like,
exactly. Be like, I have his soul held hostage. Give me money.
And she just buys it.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Well, let me buy this dead priest thing. I'm going to send it to my daughter.
Go
and inflict her with stigmata.
Right. Go buy a rosary somewhere else. Jeez.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, why would she care? It's not like some Catholics really love to get the rosaries that are like from the Vatican. Mm-hmm. Like blessed in the holy by the Pope or whatever,
Because it's got extra special magic in it.
Exactly. But some people really like that, but this isn't that. It's just some random priest in South America that she never knew.
And Patricia Arquette's character is an atheist.
Yeah, why is she send? There's some backstory between the mom and the daughter. She's trying to send her some subtle hints or something like that.
Something, maybe. That's true. Maybe the mom is Catholic.
You should believe in God, and I think she does now.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't know how you could not.
After being possessed by a priest. Yeah.
And speaking and writing in Aramaic.
And having Gabriel Byrne walk through some of the best fire fucking effects I've ever seen in my life to get to you. That looked like it was made in MS Paint.
It was pretty bad. What was up with that, though? Were we supposed to believe the fire that surrounded... Like, when she was really badly possessed, like, at the end, they tried to...
You know how possessions start off, and it's like mild. You got a little bit of a fever and stuff like that. It gets bad towards the end.
That's why I'm saying this priest had to be evil, because there's fire everywhere, and like the first Catholic priest, the bad Catholic priest from the Vatican, tries to strangle her.
Cardinal, actually.
Yeah. And Gabriel Burns goes in, and there's fire everywhere. Was it real?
No, apparently not.
Or was it just like they just did that to his brain? Like, how did they do that?
He said. How'd the movie do it? How'd the priest do it?
Yeah.
Magic. Is the answer in both cases. Movie magic. But so the whole point is he's like fucking get inside me, priest.
Yeah.
I'm probably more your type. And the priest is like, nah, you can't be the vessel because you're fucking full of doubt. You don't have any faith. And so all the fire's around there, and Gabriel Byrne's like, I'll show you fucking faith, and he walks through the fire.
What's weird about that whole scene, though, is that she's an atheist, and he's a priest. Now, I think we're supposed to understand that he's going through some, like, doubts about the Catholic faith.
Sure.
Especially, like, when he sees the evil shit going on in the background.
Well, yeah, I'd have some doubts about the Catholic Church, too, if I saw a cardinal strangle a woman.
But there's nothing that's been going on that would make us think that she has faith.
No.
So,
She was an atheist at the beginning. Maybe the baby that she had in her body at the beginning of the movie had faith.
What was up with that? Because she thought she was pregnant, and then they said she wasn't, and we never went back to that.
No, that's never resolved. The boyfriend character never comes back.
Yeah, what was the point of all that?
I don't know.
I feel like that ended up in the editing room floor, too.
And does he want to fuck her?
Yes.
Because, like... There is definitely, like, sexual chemistry there, and that's also never resolved.
Well, it's resolved. She offers herself to him when she's possessed, and he says no. That's the resolution.
I mean, I guess, but, like, now that she's not possessed, face snuggles all around. I mean, like, you would think.
They did. They face snuggled. They laid next to each other in the bed, facing each other, all huddled up, and, like, yeah. It was...
And that's when the Cardinal came in. The Cardinal and the photographer from Just Shoot Me.
Yeah, Elliot.
It's really weird to... Why'd you say that like E.T.?
Because every time I hear the name Elliot, I think of E.T.
It's really weird to see him in another role. Especially the role of a Catholic priest.
Yeah, it was.
But anyway, so yeah, they come in and see them face snuggling, and it's It's not good.
No.
Looks compromising.
Bad look. But yeah, I think that was part of the whole thing is he was being tempted.
Well, obviously, yes.
I think he left the church, though, too.
I do, too, because he's in civilian clothes at the end when he goes to the church and unearths the whatever. That's what I'm saying. Like, does he go back and fuck her? Does he?
Well, maybe they get into a relationship. Why do we got to be like, fuck? I think they loved each other.
Does he get?
I think it was deeper than that.
You think love's real too, huh? Just like stigma.
Oh my god, are we getting a divorce? What the fuck? Yes, I think love's real.
Wow.
I just gave him the evil eye.
That look does not convey love.
You are bound, okay, sir. Love you.
Yeah. Not even death to us part. Till never to us
exactly.
part. That's what she said in our vows. And then her eyes rolled back and she started bleeding. It was weird.
Oh
she
my god.
She was saying something about split wood and lift rocks or something like that, and God will be there. They repeated that maybe too many times.
Yeah, and like
it's like they were trying to drill that into our brain.
It was the message of the movie. I mean, I think that's.
Well, yeah.
I think that's the point of this fictional movie. Is
it's a very anti-Catholic movie.
Yeah, it's like, hey, just have a relationship with Jesus. You don't need the church or anything. Basically.
Yeah, basically, it's saying don't go to church on Sunday. You don't need to. Just have a personal relationship with God. You don't need a building or a priest or to put anything else between you and your relationship with God. And if you want to keep holy the Sabbath or whatever, just do that at home. And pray to God.
I see why that would be super threatening to the church and why they'd want to hide that.
Because that's how they make their money.
But they also put that angle of hey, this could be reality because we've got hidden words of Christ.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's we should go and research that if that's
storm the Vatican. Let's get the truth.
Let's take them all.
Area 51 and the Vatican. That's where all the secrets are.
John Paul II. Bring them out. We're going to get you. They tried to. They tried to shoot him.
Oh, well, I don't want to do that.
Well, not them, but some dude.
Huh?
You don't remember when he got shot?
No. Did we talk about that recently?
No.
On the show or something?
This predates the show.
Well, God, I don't remember anything that predates the show. Come on. Life began January 1st, 1994.
Yeah. And then he was like, hey, I forgive you or whatever. And the guy's like, oh, cool. Thanks.
Nice.
He's in jail, I think, or something. I don't know.
Well, I guess he couldn't pardon him.
He's in the Vatican. Being tortured right now. He's having priests inside of him. But not the way you think.
Wow.
Anyway.
Wow.
But no, I enjoyed the movie. It's a taut thriller, I would say. With it's kind of a horror movie, I suppose, in a way. It has that religious angle to it that makes it scarier. I don't know why, but that kind of attaching it to religion and stuff like that, I think makes movies scarier sometimes.
Well, here's the thing, okay? A vampire movie isn't scary because vampires absolutely 100% do not exist.
Are you sure?
Yes. But ghost movies, spirit movies, things with religion, they could be real. So it's scary.
It's true. Ghosts could be real. Stigmata could be real.
Exactly. So it's scary.
Exorcisms could be real.
Yeah, The Exorcist is 100 times scarier than
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Part 5.
Exactly.
But Friday the 13th Part 5 could happen. Because remember, that's not Jason Voorhees in that one. Spoiler alert, but that's Roy Burns, ambulance driver in that movie.
That's true. That was just a serial killer. But
really scary. A serial killer a human man that can somehow bust through a door and make it explode. Fragments.
Very strong, man.
I like the Friday the 13th movies.
Me too.
For you really you do? You used to hate them.
I like watching them with you.
For Halloween, we should did we already rate all of them or whatever?
I think we did do a Halloween episode before where we should go back and see.
I remember we talked about some of our favorites movies, but I think we should do just a spotlight on something. Maybe the Nightmare on Elm Street movies or something.
I think we might have done it for the Patreon, actually.
Maybe. Check it out.
We'll figure it out.
Anyway, I think that's it, right? I mean, I know we did. I really liked the movie. There's not a lot to. Unfortunately, like there's not a lot to get into the weeds here because typically we talk about the things we liked, which I think we already did, kind of, or we tear things apart bit by bit. And there's not a lot to really tear apart other than, like, why did he possess her? Because she didn't have any faith and stuff like that.
I did actually have another thing I wanted to talk about.
Oh, talk about it.
So, like, there's a lot of water imagery in this movie, and I'm wondering why. Like, do you have any thoughts on that? Like
holy water.
In her apartment, when she first gets the nails in the wrists, when she's taking a bath, like, she kicks the faucet off, and there's just water everywhere. And then the whole rest of the movie, every time she's in her apartment, there's also water leaking from the roof. There's just dishes of water everywhere. At one point, the water droplets move up instead of down. Yeah,
I saw that too.
What's up with that?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't like. This is one of those things I have to read about, but I feel like water has significance.
Cleansing.
Yeah, in religious connotations, holy water, baptism, stuff like that. So I assume it has something to do with that. But I don't know exactly what. They also talk about flowers, the smell of flowers and everything.
I mean,
that's supposedly like comes with stigmata.
Yeah, that's what they said. And a lot of times with spirits, people smell flowers. So that would make sense.
But yeah, the water, I'm not sure. Do you have any theories about what that could possibly be? Like I said, the holy water and like baptism and stuff like that is the only thing that I really kind of get out of it. But we never learned how he died. And if we'd learned that he died in relation to water or something like that, that might have more significance.
That would make sense. Huh. But no, I agree. I think the baptism and holy water, so like cleansing, probably she was being cleansed to be a vessel for him or whatever.
Maybe.
Because she didn't do any more, like, she didn't, I don't think she went, oh no, she did drink. She did drink and smoke still. Never mind.
That one time, yeah. Yeah, maybe he was trying to cleanse her, though. But yeah, the only problems I had, like I said, is what kind of a vessel is she? It seems like she was just whatever. She was there. And the whole thing with the baby that they just dropped.
Yeah.
And that was so weird, too. It's like, am I pregnant? It goes, did you do a pregnancy test? He goes, yeah. And she's like, am I pregnant? And he's like, he looks at his notes. He's like, no. Wouldn't you know? Like, wouldn't you, like, if you did a pregnancy test and she was pregnant, wouldn't you remember so you could give her that information?
Yeah, I mean,
wouldn't you be like, oh, she's pregnant, I should tell her.
But I could see why he'd want to make sure he didn't miss it, why he'd want to go look.
And then she was like, was I pregnant? And he goes, I don't know. And then just leaves like the worst fucking doctor in the world. Yeah. And by the way, like, I mean, that's the most realistic part of the movie. The doctor
probably
just be like, I don't know, who gives a fuck? And then leaves. But the blood test that they do for baby, they test hormone levels and shit. So if she was pregnant and lost a baby, her hormones would be not normal. They'd be out of whack. They'd be able to tell that.
Yeah, it wouldn't just immediately go. Although it does go down quickly. But it wouldn't be immediate.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think so anyway. So, I'm not a obstetrician, so I don't know. But
it's certainly possible that she could have been pregnant, lost a baby, and have a negative pregnancy test. But here's the other thing, though. She would know if she was pregnant and lost the baby, because it's not like she got her period. She still thought she might be pregnant.
That's true, because she said she was late, like 9 days or something like that.
Yeah, a week, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, I don't know. But apparently she has a history of being late. Like, her and her friend talked about that. But none of that had anything to do with anything that happened in the rest of the movie.
Yeah, why? Like, is there symbolism there?
Maybe.
Like, I don't know. Like, this is one of those movies where I think to do a really... And maybe that's why our review is so cursory of it. I think to do a really deep review of this movie, we'd have to watch it a few times.
Sure.
And really kind of take notes, do some research. Because there is definitely some like religious history and symbology in this movie. That's, it's a dense movie as far as that stuff goes, and I think that's kind of what elevates it beyond like just like your run of the mill horror movie. Like, that's one of those things too. They take a lot of care into kind of the story and the mythology of everything.
Yeah, I agree.
But I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good. I would definitely recommend it. I'd say go see it.
Go out there, see it. Let us know what you think about the movie The Water. I'm curious of other opinions.
Yeah, exactly. Let's hear from you. We usually don't ask that, but we want your opinions too.
Yeah. Let us know.
Email them to us at
latefee1994 at AOL.com.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Fuck you.
But, Carol, tell people where they can get their own Spear in the Side.
Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you want to write us, you can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com.
Yep.
Share the tapes with your friends.
All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.